For more on all of this, we're now being joined from Islamabad by Major Yasir Janjua, who's a defense and strategic affairs expert. Thank you so much, Major Janjua, for joining us. What is your own assessment of where things now go between Iran and Pakistan? Is there a real chance of escalation here?
No, not because I'm a Pakistani. The factual assessment is this will not go beyond, and last night I'm sure you've seen the statement by the Iranians that we are brotherly countries and we will try to resolve this. So I'm sure what they did was that was a miscalculation of Pakistani response or reaction intention. They did not realize that if we do this, it's going to trigger such a reaction. And Pakistanis responded within 24 hours or 48 hours. And as you can see, America and Saudi Arabia and China, they've all taken positions alongside Pakistan. Obviously, when it comes to choosing between Iran and Pakistan, most nations would go with Pakistan. So, Iran,
I mean, China sort of didn't. I mean, you're right. Some of those other countries are averse and anti-Iran. The Chinese essentially are just saying, de-escalate. Both of you are allies of yours. You know, let's have a de-escalation, restraint on both sides. Is what the UN and China are saying.
Chinese are. I must say, Chinese are very, very smart in diplomacy. They don't antagonize their allies one over the other. So they have very strong relations with Pakistan, you all know, and then they have an ongoing relationship with Iran as well. So they don't want to. So that's why they are probably going to try and mediate, if at all, to normalize the relations. That's why Chinese have taken a middle ground, if you say so. Americans and Saudis have taken the sides with Pakistan, understandably. UAE also is taking sort of a middle ground, if I may say so. But to come back, the escalation, I don't think this is going to escalate into anything further. If it had to, it should have escalated yesterday when we responded with an attack in which 9 people were killed. So I don't see in the real world any escalation of this going beyond what has already happened.
Let's set escalation aside and look at some of the broader aspects of this. If you look at Pakistan's relations with, the Islamic world or Islamic countries, there used to be a time when Pakistan was very close to the Sunni nations, right? Saudi Arabia and UAE and others. Now, they've become reasonably close, friends or partners of India in recent years. So that, that tilt to Pakistan has gone down. Iran, therefore, was a possible, country for Pakistan to lean on. The fact that even if there's not a shooting war with Iran, the fact that there will be tensions with Iran for a period of time, should that cause worry to Pakistan? Because then in the Islamic world, the only ally that Pakistan has really got is Turkey.
I'm sure you will acknowledge that 2-3 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago, when Prime Minister Imran Khan was in the government, Pakistan was involved in extensive backchannel diplomacy between Iran and Saudi Arabia for normalization of their relations. And we can, whether you admit it or not, we can take credit or be proud that whatever warming up of relations or diplomatic relations or resumption of diplomatic relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia did happen. Pakistan started it. Eventually, there were some other nations also who jumped on the
bandwagon. Whether anybody else gives credit or not, the fact of the matter is that if Pakistan was to get credit for that, Iran is bombing Pakistan right now, and Saudi Arabia is not being particularly friendly anymore either.
Right. So you are absolutely right. What I'm trying to say here is that Pakistan was always trying to be the friend it should be, because, as you know, the two things you can't change in life is your blood and your neighbors. So we have to live with neighbors, good or bad. So that's why we want that Iran, we should always have that. We have had troubles with Iran because of Shia Sunni, because there has been sectarianism in Pakistan, and there's been a blame game on Iranis or Irani-backed groups that have been fomenting that sectarian violence in Pakistan, Shias or Sunnis fighting with each other. However, at the government level, we have been trying to remain those diplomatic, in those diplomatic...
Right. Major Jandra, what you just said was an important point, that, neighbors are there and neighbors are there forever. Does it concern you, because it should probably concern you, that all of Pakistan's neighbors right now seem to be accusing Pakistan of the same thing, sheltering terrorists aimed at their territory. India has, of course, gone on for 20, 30 years. You know that. Afghanistan pretty much saying the same thing, both earlier and even the Taliban saying it now. And now Iran is saying the same thing. Every one of Pakistan's neighbors are saying that Pakistan is sheltering terror groups that are aiming their neighbors. That's not a good record to have or a good reputation to have.
I'm not surprised by this question, but although your tone is very, very professional, but this is the exactly same wording of the question I had from another Indian channel yesterday on the same topic, but the facts are different. The facts are that Pakistan has given the dossier against BLA and BLF terrorists to Iran and to the United Nations quite a few times, and we have identified locations where they're hiding. And that's where we have hit them yesterday. So any Lashkar-e-Jandal or whatever they call it, if there are any Iranian dissidents in Pakistani territory, has Iran ever given us the list of people they wanted to be apprehended? No, they have not, but we have identified. Now, as far as Afghanistan is concerned, actually, we are the victims of terrorism emanating from Afghanistan. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has been taking refuge inside areas in Afghanistan and operating and causing the violence in Pakistan. We are the biggest victims of violence. I'm not going to sit here and talk about terrorism with India, because this is a debate that will never end between India and Pakistan.
But fine, let's just park it there for a moment. Major Jandra, thank you so much for joining us with that perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.